Hey, it's BT with the BT Jerez race review. Let's get right to it. Jerez, that track, wow. I mean, Johan Mir said it best. You know, maybe Motogp has outgrown it. I think they should rename that track the Angelina Jolie track because a lot of good men were lost there. A lot of good men were lost there. I mean, it's got a long record of like, wow, everybody crashed or whatever. I mean, seriously, it's collected a lot of men and it ruins some men's lives. Yeah, Jerez. Yeah, I said that. They should rename it the Angelina Jolie track race circuit of Jerez. Anyway, Moto 3. I think the only person who can beat Pedro Acosta is Pedro Acosta. That little dude, I mean, seriously, I think it's going to be like, hey, where's Pedro at? He's grounded. His mom, he didn't clean his room and his mom said he can't go. Are you serious? Yeah, he cleaned it and then I think he wrote it. And then he threw a spitball at his teacher so he can't. Yeah. So do kids even do spitballs anymore? Anyway, Pedro Acosta, you see what he does. Rider of the race in Moto 3 goes to Jeremy Acoba. And don't get me wrong, Jeremy Acoba gets a pass for being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We talk about Bender, we talk about Achu. Jeremy Acoba's like cuckoo, but two long lap penalties, and he still got on the podium. Props to Jeremy Acoba. Got to give that kid credit, man. Denis Achu is a heartbreak, but I knew it was coming. Watching that race was like watching a horror movie. It's like watching Friday the 13th back in the day when it was really scary. Like, oh, Jason's gonna chop his head out. That's what that movie was like. I mean, that's what that race was like. You knew it was coming. You just didn't know when, but you knew that carnage was going to happen, and carnage happened. And you see Jamie Massier when Achu got sideways, like uh-oh. You see Massier going, no, don't hit me and ruin my race. And it was great to watch him have just emotion. How he screamed. If you watch, he screamed in the garage like ah, and he punched the thing, and they almost had to grab him, and the camera had to pan away, and they cut to something else. But I think that's great to show emotion. I feel for Jamie Massier. I love that guy. He was supposed to be the man this year, and through no fault of his own, he was supposed to be the man this year, and now his teammate is getting all the press. I mean, think about it, his teammate. It got to be an oppressor with the Motogp guys, and he's going, "That was supposed to be me. That was supposed to be me. Everywhere I go, it's Pedro, Pedro, Pedro." And that's what it is, man. I feel for James, but the season's not over yet. But Costa, come on, he's at 95 points. Come on, man. Like I said, he can take a race off. He's grounded. Didn't clean his room. He's still like, oh well. Let's see what these losers do. I beat him last week. I mean, Pedro Acosta is the truth. Let's get to Moto 2. Moto 2, let's skip Moto 2. I mean, let's be honest here, man. I love Moto 2. I love those guys. But this race, I was like, oh, you might get a bump of cocaine or something to keep me awake for this. I mean, that's what it was like. You're like, is this like 5? Is this like 7? It looks the same. Is this like 12? Is that 14? I mean, it was the same race. Don't get me wrong. Between the top 5, it was great. I feel bad for Raul Fernandez, but my rider of the race in Moto 2 has to go to Fabio Di Gianantonio. That dude did the damn thing. He really did. Great job for him. That's the win he deserved. The heartbreak goes to Cameron Bobier. He crashed on the last lap, and he was getting it too, as far as like he's getting Moto 2. When he gets there, watch out competition, but it's going to be too long. It's going to be too late. But still, he crashed on the last lap, and Bezzecchi's getting it. Raul Fernandez found out, hey, whatever. It's going to be a good championship, and I still think Remy's going to be in it all the way. Remy's racing like a man possessed. Anyway, let's get to MotoGP. Props to Jack. Spratt could eat no fat. His bike could eat no lean. Jack did it he did the damn thing in the drive, which is everything, on a track that you couldn't pass on. Props to Jack Miller. But let's be honest here, man. Fabio had arm pump issues. You watched the interview with him, man, and you could tell he just got through crying. The kid leaves his emotions on his arm pump sleeve. He really does. And I feel for him. You know, I'm gonna take a little side step, but this what I'm doing here started out as a joke, shits and giggles. And that's what I do, shits and giggles. If you want race analysis, a fact and analysis, like real race analysis, you go to Dave Emmett, you go to the Simon Patterson, you go to Neil, you go to Max, you go to all those guys. Those guys know the ins and outs. Me, this is shits and giggles. I did this in the beginning to make you laugh, but the more I know these guys, and if you guys, I have a podcast called Tales from a Gemini. I interviewed Bradley Smith in it. If you guys get a chance this week, go to Tales from a Gemini. It's on YouTube. And we talk, and he'll tell me, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, which I don't. It's all shits and giggles. But the more I get to know these guys, the more I go, man, I should have said that shit. I didn't know they were going through that. And Maverick, it went off of Twitter because people criticize him. Like I said, I don't mean this. I mean, I'm, like I said, fun. I don't mean to hit these guys where it hurts. But to watch Jack win that race, and then, I don't know if it was personal against Simon. I don't want to get into that. But it was kind of like, you guys say this, and he basically said, you guys talk shit about us. And now, we go through this stuff, and now it's our time kind of to talk shit about you. And it gets, and I don't think it was personal, but these guys hear this shit. So anyway, rider of the race, MotoGP, before it gets to it, rider of the race has to go to Jack Miller. He did a damn thing in the dry. Heartbreak goes to Fabio. I feel for that kid. I love Fabio, and I say it before, I say it again. I love Fabio more than any heterosexual man should love another heterosexual man who's 20 years younger than him. That's creepy, isn't it? But it's kind of creepy how much I love Fabio. But anyway, let's get to the race. It's anybody's championship, actually. I love what Bagnaia is doing. Watch what everybody's in this championship. I love what Pecco's doing. Everybody's picking Johan Mir to find his rhythm and get there, but I love what Bagnaia is doing. Watch Bagnaia. He's getting the bike to turn where Dovey couldn't. He did basically what Dovey couldn't. It's like watching your ex-girlfriend, right, with somebody else, and they're happy. Like, wow, she never laughed that way with me. Wow. Wow, she never did that for me. Wow. That's what that's like. I mean, what Pecco's getting from that Ducati, it's not scary, but he's getting that bike to do things that it doesn't turn well. Well, Pecco's getting it to turn well. When he comes out of corners, watch Pecco in this championship. Rossi, it's just painful to watch. I'm going to say it right there. Even he said, being in 17th is not fun. I love Motogp, but being in 17th is not fun. Let's just be honest. They have a test tomorrow. What can come of this test that the previous test didn't reveal? I expect a press conference later on in the year. I just can't see it getting any better. And that Petronas garage has got to be like, oh. Like, I don't know if you've been in a bad relationship. You just don't want to go home. You go, oh. Think about it. That Petronas garage, everybody's pissy. Rossi's pissy. And if you saw the MotoGP post-race press conference, the one that I asked Franco a question, I asked him a question, go run it back. Anyway, Franco was prickly because Franco, they basically said they can't help him. He's on a 2-year-old bike, and he said he went to Lynn Jarvis and told him what he felt. And Lynn Jarvis told him what he felt. No punches pulled, and he goes, we basically can't help you. You're on a 2-year-old bike, and they still expect results from you. So he got a podium on a 2-year-old bike. You know what that's like? That's like everybody getting a Christmas present, and you get your Christmas present, and you go, hey, did I give this gift to you like 2 years ago? And they go, no. You go, yeah, you did. And you have to go, so I got to play with a 2-year-old Christmas gift. That's what that's like. And Franco's got to readjust his mental to know that he's not getting any help. You know what that's like? Everybody gets parts, and you're not getting them. So to walk in that Petronas garage has to be like, oh, you have to cut through that tension with a knife. Like, oh, I'm going to the Petronas garage. How that's what I'm doing? We hate you. Okay, that's what that Petronas garage is like. All the way from Moto 3 to MotoGP. Think about it. McPhee high-sided. Jake Dixon in Moto 2 didn't finish the race. They're not getting what they want. Zabi, his teammate in Moto 2, Darren Bender had a high side. That Petronas garage is like, oh, that's like a Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, let's do the who's gonna finish on the podium, and it's like crazy in there right now. But the championship is up for grabs. And hear this: Marquez is in 15th place with 16 points. He's 50 points out of the championship. Hey, everybody has that one race they want to forget. They don't finish, whatever. Okay, if Marquez can get that arm working and get the bike where he wants it, and he finishes and he wins a couple races, he still could be in this thing. It's still early. They got France, they got Le Mans, and they got Mugello coming up. And I think Ducati's and Mugello I think they're going to eat that track up like a bowl of Cheerios with a lot of sugar on top. I think Ducatis are where they need to be. You watch them in Mugello. They got to get, the Yamaha's got to get some points in Le Mans because I think they're going to get ate up like Miss Pac-Man when it comes to Mugello. What else is there? I talked about Rossi. I talked about Bagnaia, the championship being up for grabs. I think it's a great year in MotoGP as we all see. I don't know what's more any more to add, man. Like I said, I feel for Franco what he's going through right now. But you watch. Whenever you have to accept the situation and you're gonna rise above it, man. Chip is gonna be for Franco. Watch what Franco does. He got second in the championship last year when he kind of should have won it. You know, and that was a bike problem. Everything has been bike problems with Franco pretty much. It's hardly ever been his fault. So it's interesting what's coming up in MotoGP. Like I said, the championship is still up for grabs. Watch your Lacia Spargo. Everybody is still in this championship except for Rossi and Petrucci and Little Marquez and Iker Lucoyono. And I think Rins is out of it too. I like Rins, but anyway, so that's it. Great racing. Not really. It's hard to pass on this track. This track is like being on an ice rink and your kid falls, and for some reason no one helps your kid up. So you got to walk out there with street shoes, and you're going whoa, 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 and you pick your kid up like, hey, David Jr. I told you not to go out there and go ice skating, and you got to pick your kid up and walk. That's what Jerez is like. It's no passing. It's a little bit more of a parade, but I thought the racing was okay. I give the racing probably like a B minus. Anyway, great to see Jack win. I'm glad. And Fabio. I hope he comes back. I hope he doesn't get another arm pump surgery. But that's pretty much it. Tell me what you think of the review. And be easy on those guys, man. No, 'cause those guys, like I said, they feel and they read everything. And so, you know, like I said, this is shits and giggles. It started out as shits and giggles, but, you know, I'm starting to feel those guys a little bit. And I know what they're going through. So anyway, be nice to the riders. Thanks for watching. BT with Sport Bikes Inc. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like I said, again, and as always, bye.